Hello, this is my channel on astrology. Uh, and in astrology, I keep on seeing that there's going to be a downturn for China in the next 10 years. Now, let's keep that aside and let's understand. And I would just want to talk my view on China. This is my personal view and nothing to do with my any other capacity. So China today, today was a welcome step by the Indian government to ban the apps, but that is just a symbolic step, but a good symbolic step in terms of banning Chinese apps. But let's understand what China is, and I go back to my past experience. That was in 1992, 1993, when I was in the US and I was working for Northern Telecom and for GTE. And we used to have a conference, and we had a conference at Monte Carlo. And at Monte Carlo, and all the CEOs who had come there, especially from the telecommunications sector, were all gaga about China. China is the place, and India was a far, far second. And why China was the place, I was a listener at that time, and I had nothing to contribute, excepting that supporting my managing director with facts and figures. And China at that time was that China was asking countries to come in, and they were giving a demand, a fixed demand. Suppose you're making switches, electronic switches, or the mobile switches. Okay, fixed demand for so many lines for themselves, for their own country. They were giving the electricity, land, labor, and capital was there. You just come in, sign. There was no red tapeism. So you had the demand assured. The demand which they took, the price at which they took the lines, of course, was at a lower price. They really calculated the bill of material, and they had a whole system of calculating the bill of material and then putting it plus delta, etc. And that was nearly at a good low price. But it was covering the fixed cost of the manufacturers, and an assured demand of lines were there, and it had other financial advantages also. Plus, they were increasing the capacity and exporting where they were actually making supernormal profits. So China was like all a win-win situation, and everybody, every country, including Nortel and other companies, set up their manufacturing of switches, transmission, and other equipment which I was dealing with in China, and China was the place, and that was 1993. The move started before that. In 25 years, China today, if you look at China today, um, 25 years down the line, it has been able to indigenize the technology. It has increased its own demand by multifold, because the internal demand of any country plays an important role. If you do not have an internal demand, I believe, as a professional, you cannot export. So they increased their internal demand. They built better infrastructure for themselves, and they came into the new economy. They were clearly understanding that they were into the old economy, and they wanted to come into the new economy. And this was about 30 years, 35 years before they wanted to come into the new economy. That is that is where the US was. They entered the new economy. They have the old economy in place. They entered the new economy. They have a complex way of financing which nobody understands. But yes, they banked on economies of scale, and today they are the people who are the largest exporters to people around the world. So after this today, I'm a little amazed at why China is getting into renegotiation of trade pacts, or creating problems for itself by giving kind of a feedback that it wants to increase its ambitious ambition is to uh, territorial ambitions, that it wants to uh, increase its control over the nations in the real sense. Hong Kong is one example, and besides India, it has so many countries where it is invested. Again, everything today is economics and information. Economics and information is the key today for everything. It's not war which is key; it is economics and information warfare which is there. But it has given a kind of thing that it wants to increase. It's got territorial ambitions. If you could say so in plain words, that is the ambition which China is portraying today. But if China is doing that, And if that is the truth, then it is not that China is naive. I mean, as I see, China had planned 25 to 30 years of what it was at that time. If it is doing today something, it has a 25 to 30 years plan. Whether it fails or it succeeds, well, that's not the issue. But it must be having a plan for itself, which has got a footprint of about 30 years. And one of the most important thing which China has done is it's like financially, it is there everywhere. If you look at Alibaba, and I was reading a whole book and plus some other articles of Alibaba, the complexity of Alibaba is great. I mean, I was looking at the electronics, the kind of cloud system which Alibaba has. It has a very complicated hybrid system where practically it is there in every country, every investor, in banks, in holding companies, and it has got then somehow clearly connects itself to partners also, and from the partners it goes to other allied places. So the money which is flowing, even if you take one company as Alibaba, there the money is flowing pan across the world, across structures, across banks, across funds, across partners, and the way it is generating money. So nobody knows how much of money, I mean, China is actually controlling in the world today, and that could be the most important thing which one has to evaluate. The kind of money which it controls today can be mammoth, which we even don't even know. And then within China, you have Bank of China. Nobody understands Bank of China. I mean, because of the country uh, we are in. So it could be that it is this financial power which China has, which is spreading across U.S., India, everywhere. I mean, across the world. It has it has a plan which will unfold slowly, and it is yet to be seen. As far as China is concerned, I mean, in terms of intermediary, it has got everywhere. It has got intermediary products which come to make the final products. So that is another critical factor. If we have to control China, it has to be through understanding where the investments are coming for, understanding what are the intermediary products which they are sending and which come to make the final products. What is their what is their investment in controlling the defense of the um, of various countries? What is their investment in controlling the companies of all kinds which are there in the world? That is very important. The way it is being controlled, the information access they have through these investing companies. I was just talking about Alibaba, which I told you is extremely complicated, amazingly complicated, and it is just one part. It's just a tip of the iceberg. There could be so many other things like that. Plus, also we have to see that it also controls our major sectors like medical, health. I mean, today in India itself, it controls about 75% of a pharmaceutical. It suppose says I withdraw, all the pharmaceutical imports, or I will not give India the pharmaceutical this thing. Our healthcare would perhaps be going down. So it is controlling a critical sector like healthcare, and then end of the day, today the world is online. So it is online computing and online selling of products which is taking place, which also makes it, and it has got a great control over the online system. China has a great control over the online system and online marketing of the products which is there, and which will keep on happening anyway across the world. So therefore it has being able to do these things with an idea which has something to do with the future and the future plans. So if we have to really work on China, we have to work on aspects which are much greater, and it needs international collaboration and international interests, and real international interest to to get into a kind of a place where we can actually have China sitting in front of us, and front of us, I mean, not India. I mean, the people who are today antagonists towards China to sit and come to a conclusion. Otherwise, it is for India. Also, these things have to be um, considered, and nothing beyond our territories. I mean, we should never compromise on our territorial integrity. What what may come or what may happen. So this is China for you, and this is my views, some sporadic views on China, which is I will not go in details, but these are pointers. I hope you would have liked it. This is all on my personal capacity, and my personal view. Thanks and bye for now.